Ooh, okay. So Candice, I actually am going to introduce you though.
Well, make it short.
So Candice, everyone knows Candice. They broke the mold when they created this woman. Candice James is the Poet Laureate Emerita of the City of New Westminster. And on a personal note, she's also my mentor and my friend, and I too, Tara, would not be here if it was not for Candice. Candice's first book of poetry is A Split in the Water. It was published in 1979 by Fiddlehead Poetry Books, the University of New Brunswick. And her most recent book offerings are the 10 PAK books, which she'll be reading from today. Each of these books contains 10 poems laid out in 168-page pocket book size, which is really cool. I like the idea.
And each one has, a poem starts on the same page in every book. That was tough to do, but I got it.
Yeah. Wow. So these are experimental books featuring long poems laid out in a short format with 1 or 2 stanzas per page. So it makes for easy reading, I think. This allows the reader to pause on each page to digest the images invoked and presented by the stanza. So I just want to say a little bit about Split in the Water though, the first edition. You recently put out a second edition of Split in the Water, and that is available. Oh, did I mention about, I mentioned how to get your book. And Candice, we can go to Silver Bow Publishing.
Well, I'll put it this way. If you go to Silver Bow Publishing and buy it, you're going to pay more than you will by going to a store, because I have to mail it out and I have to bear the postage costs, which I pass on to you.
Yeah.
You go into a store and they say, oh, we don't have that book. So you just say, well, please order it in for you. Give the name of Tara's book and her name, and I have the ISBN numbers on the website, and you just say that and they can order it in. Everything that you need to know to order is on the website, but get the store to order it in.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to pay the postage. In Canada Post today, for me to mail one of these books back to Ottawa is $22.
Really?
Yes, really. I've got to put it in a bubble envelope so it doesn't get the corners, you know.
Yeah. So, like I said, Candice, they broke the mold when they made you. When they made you, get it? They, you know? When the universe made you, because you're just a phenomenal person. And I would not be here doing anything
I had
amazing.
poetry in the park, and I knew Janet wrote poems, and she's sitting in the ice. I said, oh, now we'll have Janet up on open mic, and she's going,
Oh.
and I said, come on, Janet, come on. She had to come up, and then from there, she never sat down.
And I squeaked out, I think it was like a 5-line poem that Candice had published for me in the very first anthology, one of the first ones, Sudden Thunder anthology.
Yeah.
And I could barely get it out. My legs were shaking so much. And yeah, but Candice and Ken, her partner, encouraged me. So
Yeah. And look at you now. She's the poet laureate of New Westminster now, the current
yeah.
one.
So that's good, really. So I just wanted to add that. The purpose of our duty to do that. Thank you. So. Yeah. So we're all good with your mic. So please welcome the one and only Candice James.
Here, still alive and kicking, yeah. Now this is, as Janet said, they're experimental, these books. They are and they aren't. I just decided I wanted to do something very different. So there's no theme except one thing. They're very otherworldly. They're kind of like you'll never read anything quite like this in poetry form. It's just, I don't know, I love writing them, but they're very, very, very different. So I didn't have all of them because I've been selling some, but this is 4, 5, 6, and 7. I've done 8 so far. I'm doing 10 because that's why it's 10 PAK, and then I'm going through. And basically, well, you'll see. I'm going to read one poem from each book, and you'll see how they progress. I'll start with 4, and you can see how they get a little further out each time. So the one in this one I pictured is called Out-picturing. Years and years ago, I read a book by Neville Goddard, and basically it said everything here on this table, everything in the world starts up here and has to out-picture itself. The thought out-pictures itself. Never forgot that. So here we go. Out-picturing. Boy, I gotta get set here, right? Very small print. I'm going to make it larger from now on. The feathered touch of heaven's breath skims the surface of my lips. In whiskey-warm kisses, I awaken to its caress. A long overdue evolution of thoughts, sound, permeating everywhere and nowhere in simultaneous spontaneity. It paints a rainbow of song onto my awakening senses. Crystalline, wet whispers pitch promises and woo to the spidery webs of stardust, creating the new trails of oblivion that I am destined to travel. I see you in all your shining glory, standing in the shadow of a star, sprinkled with silver sequins and gilded gold flakes, infusing me with sacred breath, coaxing the dream I am into life. I throw off the cold black blanket of night and scrape the elements aflame, calling them by name and rank, lining them up to be what I want them to be. My soldiers of fortune in a land of the lost, alive with great treasures and sacrosanct pleasures. Spiraling out from a distant constellation, now drawing closer and closer, a purple satin river appears, and regal upon it, a sailboat with mahogany masts and pristine white sails. It navigates its perilous way through my harbor of tidal waves. As the sailboat arrives at my dock, I see myself standing stiff on the deck. I see myself on the deck and on the dock. I see myself in faceted time-lapse. I see myself in reverse slow motion, becoming the boat and the dock, the sea and the sky. I fall into a deep sleep for almost 1,000,000 star-drizzled years. Then, somewhere deep inside my mind, I feel a series of sensuous chills racing in tender torment through my body and soul. My cheeks are cut by the wind's whip. My eyes are damp from the sea's tears as they sweep the horizon in agitated expectation and find only a barren land. No buildings, no trees, no animal sounds, nothing, even less than nothing. The white underside of night has broken through the black, a sweet release from the dark before the night of 1,000 winters creeps into my being. In a world of selective absolutes, the universe becomes a rigid, metallic spinning of languages, eyes, souls, and beliefs. Abstraction morphs into abstrusion. Enlightenment turns dark. Fire burns to red, then ebony, then fizzles out and turns to cold gray ash. I am my own path to paradise littered with rusted out signs. I am my own dead-end road, and there is no way out of this dilemma of delirium. Camouflaged, time-worn love letters nudge their way into my weary memory bank, where deposits have become a non-entity and unexpected withdrawals are beating on bankruptcy's door. The ghost of yesterday's indiscretion is birthing again and growing taller, and regardless of how ragged the ghost becomes, the pale essence of flesh and bone renewing add a new dimension to this dimension. An atom splits to birth a quark and muon, Siamese twins. Each instant is a fragment of the past married to the present as it ushers in a flamboyant, fictitious future, too high-strung to meet expectations. I am the impression of my intellect. I am the essence of starseed. I am born and I expire. I am continuous energy, constantly renewing life after death, after life after death. I am my own paintings. I am my own muse. I am the I am of my own universe. I am thought, out-picturing itself to become the I am. I am.